come together right now over me.
Here we go. Got my sound working. Hey guys, I had made multiple versions of this video, and I've had a lot of you're seeing everything in the media, and I had even thought like maybe I wouldn't even make this, I don't know, video, but now I feel like my version 3 of doing this, I'm gonna make this short, and I feel like I really gotta just talk about some stuff. So this video is about tariffs and about how tariffs work, and we've had a lot of things where people are starting to educate. There are a lot of people, they're, I'm not even gonna say MAGA. Let's just say a lot of people who voted for president-elect who really didn't understand how tariffs work and didn't understand that this is one big thing that's going to cause a lot of pain. And so that's my purpose in this video, is to explain to you why this is going to cause a lot of pain. And then I want to propose a new idea. And I'm sending this idea out to a lot of left wing and so forth. And if anybody who's watching this video likes my idea, which I will come to at the end of this video, and they have any kind of connections, politically or anything, use this idea. Use this idea. So what we're going to start with, this video I saw online of this guy um, being explained what a tariff is.
Trump, man.
What's one of your biggest issues?
It's probably going to be inflation, because I sell T-shirts and all that stuff.
Your T-shirts are made in the USA?
No, my blanks, no. See, that's the thing Trump's talking about. If we tax them, hit tariffs, the same item they're making over there will cost the same to make over here.
We pay the tariffs.
Well, the companies pay the tariffs, not us.
China doesn't pay the tariffs. We do when they come in.
No, it doesn't work like that. Well, no, whoever's getting it imported in is going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah. I'm the business owner. I'm paying the tariff. Jolly. So I'm trying to explain.
Who pays the tariff?
They're paying the tariff.
Do you think that? Do you believe that?
Because I was trying to say, because I sell merch as well.
I sell you something for $10, right? You're going to sell it to him for $20.
Exactly.
But then I make you pay me $15 for it. Are you still going to sell it to him for $20?
Am I going to sell it to him for 20?
If I raise the price $5.
Oh, it's going to have to go up.
Right. So
Yeah, the consumer foots the bill.
Knew about that, if more of his supporters actually knew about that, how these policies are going to affect
Right.
them personally,
Looking at
I'm
my
not quite
touch.
sure they would have voted in the same way. Here's what Mark Cuban has to say about the current situation due to Donald Trump's election. Mark Cuban writes, "Right now, every company that imports from China is taking all the cash they can muster and buying up as much as they can and stuffing it in a warehouse in anticipation of the tariffs, creating accelerated demand for imports. That money would have been used for expansion, raises, bonuses, and other operational elements. Because cash is relatively expensive and it costs money to store inventory, those companies will increase prices as if they had paid the expected higher tariffs. On the
So guys, I'm going to talk about that real quick. This is what made me really want to do this video. Sorry, I got a little Batman drink. Companies are looking at this, and I have an explanation. I have a little simulation that I made, but we're going to try to get through it because I don't want to make a long video. Companies are looking at this. They're buying from China, and they see, okay, Trump won. We got to do this. I'm willing to bet that a lot of companies were proactive and they started upping their purchases from China. But what you're doing is you're causing. There's two ways, when a company, mostly distributors, they buy something from China, they're worried about their price, and then they're worried about their list price, which is their sales price to their customer, right? Because you're gonna have to like go out and like tell your customer, hey, things are gonna be more expensive. So a lot of companies, they only have so much money in the bank, right? And there's this thing, you have to look at cash flow, right? I'm trying to buy and sell at the same time that I can replenish my amount, my ability to buy again, so that I can buy again. So you have cash flow. So what's happening right now is companies they're used to having, let's say like maybe 500,000, some smaller companies, bigger companies, maybe a million, maybe 2 million, in the bank, and they can make moves and buy things. But right now they're having to dive into their like cash flow savings to buy as much as they can, because they want to buy as much as they can before some people, you'll see they'll say upwards of to a year, so that they can get those goods in soon as possible before the tariff. Because once Trump signs it, Trump said he's going to sign it as an executive order. So once he signs it and then those goods hit the shore, they got to pay that tariff. So right now, every company is importing from China. They're taking all the cash they can and they're just buying. They're pulling POs right now. This is happening right now. So you have US companies that are taking a risk and they're overspending to buy as much as they can from China before they get hit with a 60%. So if anything, Trump he's caused an increase of spending in China right now by saying threatening with tariffs. And um, it costs money to store this inventory. So now they have to worry about, some companies, they don't have warehouses where they can have all this inventory. So now what are they going to do? They're going to have to start getting 3PLs, which is like a third party location to store this stuff, because once they buy like 2 to 3 times the amount, where are they going to store it? Where are they going to keep it? Imagine if you bought groceries for like 6 months. Can your pantry get all of it? So let's go to the next clip.
The expected higher tariffs. On the flip side, companies that export are expecting retaliatory tariffs. So they are calling their Chinese buyers and begging them to do what American companies are doing, buying up all they can. Sounds good, more sales now, except they have to accelerate.
So think about that. Okay, now from China, you buy things from us, and you are reacting because wait a minute, once this happens, the Chinese government, Xi Jinping, is going to be like, oh no, Donald, I'm going to put tariffs on you. Just like he did I think it was 2018. Don't quote me on it, but he did against our farmers, because once Trump and he put tariffs on aluminum and steel, China turned around and said, I'm going to put a large amount of tariffs on all of your farmers. And the United States had to pay $55 billion in subsidies to protect our farmers. That is $55 billion of taxes on the American people. Because where did Trump get the money? From American people. He taxed American people and he got that to save farmers. And so when they say on the flip side right here, they're saying, oh, China, please buy as much as you can from us, because we're talking to our Chinese, um, our Chinese friends, our Chinese vendors, and we're saying, once this starts happening, your leader is gonna start putting tariffs. So you need to do the same thing. And they're begging for orders. More sales now, but when you have more sales now, eventually it's gonna make the economy look good. Well, I don't know if it's gonna make the economy look good. It's gonna look like our GDP. I don't know what is going to happen. There's too many things. But if other companies need those components, the prices will go up. Yes. And so there are certain people who are competing for resources. They're competing for different things. You have different industries. I'm going to say industry ABC, and they all need steel, and they're all competing against the resources of steel. And so if industry A overreacts, and let's say industry A has enough capital that they go out and try to buy as much as they can, they're taking away from the resources of industry B and C. So it's everything's gonna be fucked.
Buying up all the components in the bill of materials, which may be at a constant price today, but if other companies need those components, the price goes up. When those retaliatory tariffs hit, the companies have to pray that the companies in China they sell to can afford their products, or far worse, possibly the Chinese government tells them, if they can, to stop buying from the USA altogether. This
is where Trump, is like, oh, he's a businessman. He doesn't understand. The leader of China, he put in laws that he is indefinitely. You don't vote. He's indefinitely the leader. So he rules autocratically. He says it, it just gets done. There's no voting, there's no nothing. He says it, it gets done. So if he gets pissed off enough at Trump for this, he can just be like, all Chinese companies do not do any business with the United States. And he has the power to do it. And that's why Trump loves him. That's why he loves Putin, because he can just say, "You're not buying from the U.S. anymore." And you know what? The U.S. reacting the way we are right now, I'm afraid he's going to be looking at this and he's going to be like, "Oh, you think you're going to start a trade war with me? Okay, I know all of your companies are frantically freaking out. Every single PO you send me, no. I will direct every single Chinese company. You do not accept any PO from the United States post," he might say, post November 15th. Post November 15th, you accept no PO from the United States. He might just sit there and say, "We'll see. We'll see what happens." And also, you have to keep in mind, which I'm going to get into, but I will say Trump's timing is terrible because there's this thing called Chinese New Year. The, outside the United States, because I know the United States, we're work, 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 work. But outside the United States, some countries, they have mandated times where they take a vacation. Germany takes vacation for their manufacturing in July. They shut down factories for like a month. Everyone just goes on vacation for a month. It's just how it is. And then in China, they have what's called Chinese New Year. They celebrate their New Year from the mid of January to like the first, I think it's the first or second week of March, right? So it's at least 6 to 8 weeks, right? It's an in and out. So you're starting a trade war with a country that's about to shut down for like 6 to 8 weeks, where Americans are going to frantically be throwing in POs, and we're before the November wall. So when I used to work in packaging, I referred, most of us refer to it as the November wall. The November wall is, if you don't get your POs in before November, you're not going to get them before Chinese New Year. You're going to get them after Chinese New Year, which is another like 4 months. November, December, January, February. No, 5 months. So he is fucked all American companies. They can't react. They can put in POs, manufacturing POs all they want. Now, things that are already produced, you can get them, buy them in bulk. But anything that has to be manufactured, you're not going to get in that pipeline. So let's continue.
This individual writes, results have already started. This is from an American woman today. My husband works for a small manufacturing company, and here in southwestern Pennsylvania, that means most employees are Trump voters. When the president of the company sat them down today to tell them their annual Christmas bonus would not come this year because they now need to purchase at least a year's worth of products prior to January 21st due to the proposed tariffs, they did not understand. My husband said that their president had to explain what a tariff is and how it will directly hurt their company. They all thought the foreign company paid the tariff. This is the level of ignorance voting against their own interests here in Pennsylvania, where we failed American women and children the night of the election. Here's another.
So I want to get back to that. So that's a lot to uncover. So what we're saying is a company said, "Look, and it's a smaller company. We have to think about, we're not always dealing with these large companies, okay? Sometimes you're dealing with smaller companies. They don't have a lot of money and savings to just invest in like a year's worth of or even 6 months worth of inventory, right?" And so he reacted. I'm not gonna say they reacted, because it could have been, a woman, whatnot, who owns the company. But they reacted. I'm just gonna say she, actually. This is who that. She reacted and said, "You know what? I got to get as much as I can in the pipeline. And the money that I would have allocated to bonuses, I got to take that money out, and I got to use that to spend to buy material to bring it in as soon as possible, because I got to get all of that in before these tariffs come in." But you know what's going to happen?
Right to take credit for Joe Biden's economy before Donald Trump destroys it, as this person lays out economic boom.
So it's already started. I import products from overseas, products that are made of materials that are not produced here in the US. They haven't been produced in the US for, 50, 60 years. So no matter how much I wanted to pay, I could not get these materials here in the US. And all of my manufacturers have sent me emails letting me know that because Trump was elected and he has threatened tariffs, all of the pricing will go up in January in anticipation of these tariffs. So
she probably has
the
a
goods that I
30-day
buy
price increase
will
in her
cost
contract.
me more money, not the other country. And then I will have to raise prices that I sell them at to make that up. So
before Trump's
it's
ever
already
elected,
started. And for
prices are gonna
people
go up.
who didn't realize
before he's
what
even
a
in office,
tariff
prices are gonna
was,
go up.
you're about to find out, okay? Because it's going to affect everything that you buy. Because there's not a product on the shelf that doesn't have some element of it that comes from another country. So, good luck.
And now we are starting.
And that's the thing. It's not just China. He's talking about raising prices in the UK. Our other, China's the one he's saying he wants to be harder on China. China. And so she just said it. Companies they have to react. They have to maneuver. And you can see they're already giving her a price increase. And a lot of these companies, what they're going to do is they're going to buy as much product as they can, but then they're going to raise the price as soon as they can. So what does this mean? This means I buy all this extra product, but I immediately increase your price. So some of this product that I got in my warehouse, I didn't buy under the tariff if I can get as much in there as I can. But as soon as I can, I'm going to raise your price as though I did. So the thing I want to do is I want to get as much inventory as I can. This is what's called a MAC, right? But I want to get as much inventory as I can, and at a lower price, and then sell it to you at a higher price. And that's going to help me with this bleeding, because eventually my inventory is going to get to the point of what I'm paying with this tariff. So that's what's going to happen. Let's take one more. I think there's one more.
To see large corporations also announce that they are going to have to implement massive job cuts and slash their sales forecasts for various reasons, one of them being due to incoming raises in prices due to Donald Trump's tariffs. We see here from Fortune, Nissan announces 9,000 job cuts and slashes sales forecasts as it faces severe situation. And this is due to Nissan's plummeting sales and also the fact that they are expecting higher and higher prices in the coming year due to these tariffs. They say the following: when asked about Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election, the CEO of Nissan said that the company was, quote, hearing various things like tariffs, but it's not just us. Quote, we'll be lobbying in the direction of our medium to long-term plans should remain, but we will conduct our business while monitoring the situation carefully. Here's a report in the Detroit News about Stellantis. Stellantis cutting 400 jobs at Detroit Parts Warehouse. Stellantis NV plans to cut about 400 union workers at an East Detroit warehousing facility early next year. The indefinite layoffs will affect all United Auto Workers represented employees at the Freud Street Parts.
So I want to pause this. This is going to be something that's going to happen across all companies. They're going to start laying people off. They got to reduce cost. These companies are in panic mode. You cannot tell somebody, okay, you pay $2,000 in rent, which is pretty high, but you pay $2,000 in rent, and then all of a sudden
share this as well. We've seen a lot of gamers getting the back of Donald Trump, especially these Gen Z
now I
gamers
gotta pay like
supporting
$1,000
Donald
for a
Trump. Well,
PlayStation.
we're now learning that the
And it's
price
like
of
after
game
it's already been
consoles
out.
is
You
about
gotta
to
be
spike
kidding me.
because of Donald Trump's tariffs as well. Here are just some of the headlines going around the various tech publications. Here's one: Trump tariffs will make video game consoles up to 40% more expensive. Here's another: console prices could skyrocket by 40% due to Donald Trump's victory. Tariffs can make a PS5, a PlayStation 5 Pro, cost up to $1,000 US, experts say. Here's another headline: Trump's proposed tariffs could hit gaming hard, study finds. Well, I guess it was all worth it, MAGA. Enjoy paying those higher costs while Elon Musk's net worth skyrockets to $313 billion this week, as estimated by Bloomberg after Donald Trump's election. And as Yashar Ali notes, when Musk reaches $401 billion, which is inevitable, he will become the richest man in history who is not a monarch.
Wait, what is this? Elon Musk is getting richer because of all of this? His net worth is going to be 1.4% of the GDP of the entire United States? What?
Or head of state.
He's not even a citizen? He's an immigrant? He's an immigrant? He's an immigrant? I thought we didn't like immigrants.
Past fortunes are adjusted for inflation. His net worth will be around 1.4% of the GDP of the United States. Additionally, his net worth will fully exceed that of his birth country, South Africa. But sure, he's looking out for your best interests, man.
All right, guys, this is the part where I tell you what I'm thinking about. Okay, so we've talked about tariffs. We've gone on and on about it. I don't want to just go, so much more that you're like, oh my God. I made some graphs. I went through. This is fake data. I made some data based on purchase orders, um, port ETA when it's going to get to port, the warehouse ETA, which is not important. But what would be the tariff if what would be the cost based just on costs and tariffs if it comes in before Trump? So what I did is I did like just like a little sheet, and I said, okay, I assume that in February 1st, right? He's going to, he's in office January 20th. He signs an executive order to increase 20% tariffs on China. This is just on China, and so I assume by February 1st, some paperwork's got to be done. By February 1st, it's in there. So I made up a fake company. So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a fake company, and we're looking at two different things here. Okay. Some of new profit and some of original profit at original date. And so at original date, if I from all the information that I threw in here, right? I threw and made all these POs and everything for this imaginary company. For this imaginary company that I made, I'm losing money day one, February 1st. And that's just assuming like, I can even get this product February 1st, right? I'm making less money because if I make the assumption in this analogy I did in this story, I made the assumption that the company's making 30% profit. Some companies make like a little bit more, but 30% is an average. Like most companies, they're not making like 50% unless there's like a retail. They can get away with that at retail, but like higher levels, 30% is a good percentage, 30 to 40%. So my imaginary company is bringing in 30% profit, but because you've added a 60% extra tax, Trump tax, the Trump tax is going to put me in the negative. First month, $107,000, 176,000, 267,000, and it's just going to bring me down. So what is this blue line? This blue line is in my imaginary company. Here is the profit I'm making if there is no Trump tax. Without a Trump tax, I'm making good money. I'm making up to like towards of $1 million a year in like, just a couple of months. Well, $1 million just in a couple of months. So this goes into what I have as a proposal. Again, like I said, I went in and I made some imaginary numbers. If you want to see the spreadsheet, you can DM me. I'll send it to you. I did a couple of formulas looking at a sales price and so forth. But I did what I call a proposed date. Here's the meat and the potatoes. Trump, you already won. I'm speaking to Trump. You already won. Okay? It's not us versus you. You already won. Came in. If you do these tariffs, you're going to destroy American businesses. Because as I'm showing you, there are American businesses who can't take these losses. You have American companies, you tell them what, can you take a 200,000? Can you take a $300,000 loss in 3 months? Some of these companies will have to close their doors. And when they close their doors, they're going to have to first they're going to start firing people, which they've already started doing. But the ones who are patriots, a patriot is someone who believes in the American dream, who's going to sit there and fight to build a company, to put food on their table, to employ other Americans, to help other people. These people will fight to the end, and they will perish under this. This is my proposal. Trump, you've already won. You've already won. If you want to do this, if you will not stop, and this is what you need to do, I propose you push your tariffs until August of 2025. That is why I have it here. And you can see this gives American companies that exist a chance to fight for their existence. I need you to give them 9 months. Be 9 months, right? About 9 months. Give them 9 months. 9 months, because we have Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is going to start in January and to February. They're going to have time, and we're going to be flooding the Chinese markets. If you come out and you announce that you're going to push your tariffs until August, dude, I'm only asking for 9 months. Then it's going to take some of these companies that are planning to lay people off, they don't have to. They can start rescinding that. It gives American companies, if you are a businessman, you know that November, right now, we're in November, this is when people are planning budgets, bro. They were planning budgets and they didn't. I mean, the smart person would have had a plan B for this scenario, knowing and looking at the elections. But this is what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to give American companies. I'm asking you to look at American companies in the eye and say, you know what, this is what I'm planning to do, but I'm going to give you 9 months to plan. I'm going to give you 9 months to stock up your inventory. I'm going to give you 9 months to forecast, to change your forecasting. Because some of these things they buy from China, if they don't buy from China, they have to go into what's called a BOM, which is a bill of material, and they have to change that. There's so much. I need you to give American companies time. If you will not stop doing this, then I need you, and I am asking you to give American companies time so that they don't have to lay off American workers. This is what you want to do. I'm telling you, this is what needs to be done. You give Americans at least 9 months. At the very least, if you can give more, I'm good for it. But I need you to give American workers 9 months. And this this is plan B for us. We need to go and we need to petition the White House. When you create a petition with the White House, and I don't know if I can do it because I don't have any kind of following. So I'm going to be asking other people, other left wing people who have followings. But we need to create a petition with the White House and we need to ask. The first thing we need to ask is we need to ask if Joe Biden can do anything. Now, we have enough time if we act now. Second is if that doesn't work, we need to ask Trump and we need to tell Trump. And I'm telling Trump, talking to Trump right now. Dude, listen to me. Don't listen to those other people. I'll put on a MAGA hat. I'll wear a MAGA shirt. Give my American companies at least 9 months. And I don't know if you're going to do that, but I'm going to be asking my people to sign a petition, and we're going to send a petition to you, which I don't think you've revoked it yet. So then the White House has to respond to this. MAGA, I'm asking you, and MAGA, I'm talking to you. This affects you. This is no longer me versus you. We are on the same side. We're Americans. We just want to work. We just want to put food on our table, and we want to watch some Saturday football. I can't wait to watch Georgia decimate Ole Miss today. I'm sorry, Ole Miss fans. MAGA, we're on the same side now. Okay? Trump got elected. It's not me versus you anymore. MAGA, you're Americans, I'm Americans. We need to put food on our table. We need to put jobs out there. We need to put our sons and our daughters in jobs. All these other social issues, we'll deal with that later. We need to talk economic issues right now. We need jobs. We need lower cost. And we have a lot of threats coming. So we need to work together. We need to push these tariffs off so that we can protect these American businesses that don't have enough money to survive these tariffs. So I hope this helps and hope you're listening. I'm going to give you more updates. I don't think I'm the one to start the petition because I don't have a following. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Keep you informed. But God bless you all. And God bless these United States of America.
Come together.